I'd like to welcome you all to this webinar on teaching entrepreneurship in colleges, which has been organized by the Entrepreneurship School in association with the Management and Entrepreneurship and Professional Skills Council and She at Work. So the eminent panelists today with us, we would really like to welcome them. And with us, we have Colonel Anil Pokhriyal, who's the CEO of MEPSC. MEPSC is affiliated to the Ministry of Skill. MEPSC is affiliated to the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and NSTC, with All India Management Association as its promoter. It believes in the values of skill mission and is targeting to train and certify nearly 4.75 lakh trainees by developing and framing 50 qualification packs or national occupational standards, including training of more than 550 trainers over the next 10 years. Colonel Pokhriyal, who's taken out time to be with us today, has a diverse professional experience of more than 2 decades in various fields, including skill development, while working in challenging environments in the corporate sector, United Nations, and Indian Army. He has blended successfully in the corporate sector, working towards skill development in construction industry after serving in the Army for more than 2 decades, having been commissioned in the Corps of Engineers in June 1991. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We also have with us Dr. Ashwini Sharma, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Pune. Symbiosis Skills and Professional University offers certificates, diplomas, and degree programs across various verticals aimed at creating industry-ready youth who can be gainfully employed. With over 35 years of experience, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Sharma has established himself as a seasoned professional, a technocrat with managerial and administrative skills, and an educationist with several national and international organizations, having been associated with several national and international organizations like ISRO, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai, ISRO Ahmedabad, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai, Toshiba Corporation, Tokyo, Rajasthan State Industrial Development and Investment Corporation, and others. He has successfully led the National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology, NILIT, which is a body of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, METI, Government of India, as Director General for 5 years. He's also a member in APEX committees with AICTE, MHRD, Government of India, Government of Maharashtra, Government of Rajasthan, etc., for quality education initiatives. We welcome you, Dr. Sharma. We also have with us here today Professor Prasad Tigalapalli, who is popularly known as Dr. Mandi Prasad. He's a professor of student startups at the National Institute of Industrial Engineering, NITI, Mumbai. NITI is focused on education and research towards strengthening the development of business and industry, helping in the overall economic growth. Dr. Mandi calls himself a professor turned tailor who tailors higher education to the needs of the underprivileged. He believes in creating a no spending but earning focused education. He has conceptualized the popular Maha Mandi socio-marketing event organized annually by NITI, where students take businesses to the streets where they actually belong. In Dr. Mandi's words, Seekho, Seekho, Becho, Bech ke Seekho. These exemplify the principles of Maha Mandi and, in a way, entrepreneurship for many of us. We also have here with us today Sanjeeva Shivesh, who's the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneurship School. The Entrepreneurship School is a nurturing ground for founders, startups, and entrepreneurs. It is the brainchild of Sanjeeva Shivesh, a former civil servant, strategy consultant, fund manager, and serial entrepreneur. Some of his proteges have successfully launched their enterprises in the recent years. He is also a member of the Entrepreneurship Skills Council of NSDC and the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. Sanjeeva is a BTech from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and MBA from Cranfield School of Management, UK. And I'm Ruby Sinha. I'm the founder of She at Work, a one-stop knowledge hub for women entrepreneurs. So I welcome all of you to the panel. So I'd just like to start the discussion with some opening remarks by Colonel Pokhriyal. Just to understand what exactly is MEPSC doing, because according to the Human Development Report 2020 by UNDP, Colonel Pokhriyal, just 1 in 5 Indians in the labor force are skilled. So with the figure at 21.2%, India is At 120, India is ranked 129 amongst 162 countries mentioned in the report. Several programs have been put in place at the national level to activate the skilling ecosystem in the country to achieve the initial target of skilling 500 million people by 2022. What in your opinion, you're running a skill center, and what in your opinion are the challenges towards achieving this goal of mass entrepreneurship or mass skilling in India? To you, Colonel Pokhriyal. Can you hear me? Are you on? Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Ruby, and thank you, Mr. Shivesh, and to all my esteemed panelists for giving this opportunity to Management, Entrepreneurship and Professional Skills Council to be part of such a great initiative. And we are discussing to the youth of today, which are the future of tomorrow. MEPSC, as you mentioned, we are under the direct supervision and monitoring and guidance of Ministry of Skill Development, which is a very latest ministry under this government, which started about 5 years back. This is an initiative, and this shows the seriousness of the government of the day, that we really need to step up our work and the lost time which we have done in last 75 years. So the focus of the government and intent of the government is very much visible. In that sense, the Skill India mission, which was started about 12-13 years back, has now come to that level that it has started maturing and started showing some results. There are multiple challenges as we do it, and MEPSC, as one of these 37 sector skill council under the Skill India mission, is mandated to look after the management and security sectors primarily, and we have different subsectors under the management, which includes the office management, the professional skills, which also include the training and assessment, the non-teaching segment of the education sector, and obviously entrepreneurship. The topic of the day, which is also the requirement of the day in the country. As you mentioned, why we are 122? Because like I said, we are one of the latest countries to take up skill mission at the national level in last 1 decade or so only. That is why India, as of now, is at about barely 5% of the skill. If we say how much of our workers are skilled, the rate is about 5% in comparison to countries like South Korea, 96%, and many European, Australia, and other countries at much higher level, at 70, 80, 85% of the workforce being skilled, especially in Germany and UK and New Zealand and other countries. So the emphasis, the need of the hour has been recognized by this government, and various initiative has been launched. The challenges which are there are multiple. If I can tell you, first and foremost is the insufficient capacity, because we have a very large workforce. We have to have that capacity, and we have to skill crores of people in that sense. So the capacity, that mismatch is there in the demand and supply as to what the industry wants and what we are capable of providing from the training centers and the educational institutes put together. Second is the skilled trainers. The trainers have to be skilled in that skill and domain, which is the need of the hour from the industry, which is the major ask from the industry. Third is the mobilization. Mobilization is something which is taking maximum time of effort and resources in terms of money also, and you have to actually get the kids and their families onboarded as to the importance of the skill, as to whether they'll be able to do their vocation or self-employment or business or whatever they want to do. And there is a lack of mindset, actually. We as a society have to change our mindset. We are employment oriented. We have to change our mindset from employment generation, job seeking, to job giver. That is what is the biggest drawback of the society. As Shah Rukh Khan said in one of the movies, he said, "Koi dhanda chota nahi hota, aur dhande se bada koi dharm nahi hota." So we have to catch on these requirements, which are the ask of the day. We have to change the mindset of the society, change the mindset of parents. We as parents have to change our mindset. And thankfully, I've changed it for my two kids, my son and daughter. So they are doing something on their own. We have to change the mindset of even the students. हम बोलते हैं पढ़ेगा लिखेगा तो बनेगा नवाब, खेलेगा कूदेगा तो see what is happening in Tokyo Olympics. The idea is we have to change the mindset across all the levels: society, parents, teachers, students also. Their aspiration levels have to change. Everybody is looking after government jobs. Everybody is looking after cushy, AC office. Nobody wants to slug it out. If you say army mein jao ya BSF mein jao ya CISF mein jaiye, nobody wants to slug it out. Everybody wants a cushy job. Everybody wants MNC salary without having experience or the skill sets. Those are one of the challenges. Scalability is something which is again very, very important, because there has to be a buy-in from the corporate. There has to be a buy-in from the corporate to pay the wages, the premium for the skills. Nobody is ready to do that. They are actually, the corporates or the trainers or even employers are shying away from putting money to get their employees skilled, because they feel that the employee, after upscaling or reskilling, will shift over or will be poached by the competitor. And definitely the skills mismatch, the demand supply gap. Industry says, if I need a person at this caliber, at this salary or this experience, it is not available, because the educational institutions, the industry is not meshed up in the manner it is supposed to have been done. So these are the few challenges, and I restrict myself here. Thank you.
What you're mentioning, it leads me to Dr. Ashwini Sharma, because he's the vice chancellor of a university which has been set up to combat this skill gap in the country. And Dr. Sharma, as the world changes, the need for a skill-based workforce is in the rise, and basically that's what Colonel Pokhriyal has also been talking about. And basically, how do you think universities like yours can contribute towards moving entrepreneurship and skilling beyond just vocational courses? Right now, all of us think of skilling as just a vocational course, but do you really see students coming forward to take forward your courses at the undergrad, postgrad level that you're offering? Dr. Sharma.
Yeah, Ruby, thanks. I think before I take up your question, I will also like to add something more on that. First of all, I think let me congratulate to the organizers, that is the MEPSC, She at Work, the Enterprise School. So I think the topic which you have planned out for discussion and deliberation, I think it is the need of time. There is no substitute to this. And I think I must congratulate all the three organizers, especially giving me this opportunity to be here on this occasion, because this subject is close to my heart, because I have proved this in the public sector as a Director General with the Government of India, that if you have a will, you have a way. So I think that is possible. And I think the topic which you have put, that is the entrepreneurship, we need to all understand that entrepreneurship has been adopted globally as a means of boosting the economy of the countries, whether it is America, India, whatever it is. And in the present scenario, when we have been saying that we are the youngest country in the world in terms of working workforce, and we say we have got a population around 62%, which has got a age bandwidth of 15 to 59 years. And when we say that we have got more than 51% in the age group of 25 years, I think this has become a need of time for us. And especially when we are saying that we have got 4 crore students who are either PG or UG or PhD holders or 12 pass who are waiting for the job. I think a very relevant topic in present scenario. And why it has become very much important today, because as Colonel Anil said just now, that sector skill, the new ministry is also pushing and putting pressure on that part. And especially when the Government of India has been targeting, Skill India, Make in India, Startup India, and now recently, Honorable Prime Minister on 15th August declared almost a year back that we must plan for Atmanirbhar Bharat. And when we are saying Atmanirbhar Bharat, if we are not able to use this youth which we have got within the country, and we are not able to use this demographic dividend of the population and the knowledge, this will become a demographic disaster. So I personally feel, thanks to all of you, that yes, very good relevant topic. And it is more important when especially the new education policy 2020, which has been declared, and which it is focusing on, multidisciplinary education, which is one of the pillar for any entrepreneurship. You can't become an entrepreneur just by learning mathematics or just by doing MBA. You need to understand multiple disciplines. You understand how to talk, how to behave, how to speak, how to address a customer, how to take a risk, all these things. So I think very well covered in the NEP 2020. Secondly, Government of India in the NEP 2020 has created a special chapter on reimagining of vocational education. So that means Government of India has definitely some mind thought process how to move out. And then, multiple entry, multiple exit. This is again very much supporting for the entrepreneurship, because, for example, if I am 10th, I cannot afford education. I can exit. I will put this my score in credit. I will again rejoin after some time. So I mean, a very well thought process. As far as the question which you asked me just now, yes, we are the first skill university of the Maharashtra, and probably the first residential skill university of the country, where basically we are trying that students need to be given more emphasis on the skill sets rather than the vocational education. And when I'm saying the skill sets, that Gartner theory says that everybody has got there are 8 skill sets, and everyone has got one skill set in dominance, right? Which I mean, he may be a speaker, he may be a mathematician, he may be a musician. So we need to cultivate that culture, but definitely besides one skill set which he or she has got in dominance, we need to develop other skill sets also, which include, let's say, and that's the reason in our university, we try to cultivate the culture where we basically make mandate that every semester student has to go for internship. Because I feel entrepreneurship comes when you go too close to the industry. Until unless industry is a part of the education system, because the risk, see, we as a policy maker, we as a bureaucratic system, we as educationists can give them knowledge, but it is the industries who really make them roll out on the road. And this is the reason we try to cultivate a culture of analytical thinking. We try to, work out where we basically, give them case studies and try to make them, resilience, which is very much important for the entrepreneur to come. And then we try to cultivate the emotional intelligence also. That is very important presently. And we have to manage the team. And then, leadership and social influence. Because I personally feel that India is such a big country. If we start working on skilling for limited to the area also, we can do wonders. Because every state, every region has got different flavor. They have got different culture. So that can be worked out. And then, we have to work out on a concept where we have to go away from the duplication, copying of the concept. We have to go for a creativity, originality, and, imaginative in given emphasis. That is what we are trying to cultivate. Let me tell you one thing, that out of students who are joining us, 26% students last year have set up their own startup, or they have become an entrepreneur. I think it's a very good figure. 25% is a lovely figure. I was just trying to talk to my director of placement. She was saying 25% students have started their own business. And I think what Colonel Anil said, or my other speakers will also say, it is a fact that the social stigma related to VBOC, diploma, or ITIs that had to go away. Because I remember when I was there in USA in 1992, I could find as a software developer, I was getting $20 per day for Fox Pro programming, whereas the plumber, he was getting around $35 for 8 hours. So I could find that day that he was coming in a car, well suited, well speaking English, and he was doing a better job than us. So I think we need to bring that mindset change in the whole system, that skilling is nothing, it is addition to the knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Which brings me to the next question for Shivesh. Shivesh, the general belief is that entrepreneurs are born, not made. And as we're all talking about, the fact that, most of us feel that, you are born, or you're a born entrepreneur. And do you feel that entrepreneurship can really be taught? You're running a school on it. And do you feel that, entrepreneurship is something that has to be taught successfully only at B schools? Because we see a lot of B schools now running successful entrepreneurship courses. So I just wanted your views on this. can be taught successfully only at B schools. So I just wanted your viewpoint on this.
Fantastic, Ruby. You're hitting the nail on the head, right? So it's a question and a dilemma, which is a perpetual dilemma, and I think it's there for the last maybe 30, 40 odd years, and we are still discussing this, right? And there could be various answers to this, but I would ask all the people who are listening to this webinar, and they can put their answer in the chat box. If the question is, can entrepreneurship be taught at colleges? You can use any answer, yes, no, maybe not, it's difficult. जो भी आपको लिखना आप लिख सकते हैं. So the question to everyone in the chat box, if you can put in your response. I have my my answers, right? And essentially all of us know that entrepreneurship is an applied skill, right? It's a applied thing, right? It is not a very theoretical thing. You have to take it to the world. And if you use the frameworks of how applied knowledge is imparted to people, the answer of course is yes, right? But if you use the old frameworks about how entrepreneurship be taught, and if you're saying that entrepreneurship can have a conceptual construct, and another in a B school parlance, and Professor Mandi can vouch for this, is a 2x2 matrix and those kind of stuff, but the answer is clearly no. Right, so any applied thing where you have to go and build the business, and if you wear that lens and use that framework, and a lot of professors out here, they believe that it can be taught. But the challenge that we face is how do we translate the knowledge of entrepreneurship into a trade of entrepreneurship, right? And that is a journey, and that would require multiple steps, right? You look at the paradigm of what of entrepreneurship can be taught, right? So at one end of the scale could be a very call it a simple thing called building entrepreneurial mindset, right? Because as Dr. Ashwini Sharma was mentioning that, and I think there are questions already there in the chat that people are asking, how do we motivate people to become entrepreneurs, or how do we motivate people to get into entrepreneurship, right? So all those things are in the paradigm of what we call entrepreneurial mindset, right? And there are tools which are available in the real world, which all the teachers who are there, they know it, right? So motivational tools, storifying, using the videos and stories of entrepreneurs, bringing entrepreneurs to the classroom, and all those things actually, help people believe that agar ye kar sakta hai, to main bhi kar sakta hu, right? So you actually, the teachers at colleges, they actually have to break the mental block which says that this is not possible, right? So we have to take students from this is not possible to
You got disconnected, I think.
हाँ, नेट का कुछ प्रॉब्लम ऐसा दिख रहा
हाँ सर.
है, नेट का कुछ प्रॉब्लम.
I think there's some problem with Shivesh's network.
हाँ,
So,
दिल्ली में कुछ प्रॉब्लम, दिल्ली में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है.
We are happy to have you.
This is one of the Ruby, the infrastructure challenges.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
So this is
Obi-
one of the challenges.
Talking
वो भी
about-
दिल्ली में सर.
So you can imagine.
So
That's why 122 rank.
So while Shivesh joins back, we have Dr. Mandi with us, who's, he's popularly known as Dr. Mandi. So you've started this great initiative.
कोऑर्डिनेटर से कुछ.
So maybe Mandi sir, you can answer this question which was posed to Sanjeeva Shivesh.
हाँ. Is it possible to? हाँ, Sanjeeva is back. Sanjeeva ji, you're welcome.
I'm very sorry. I'm
No
struggling
problem.
with my network issue.
Technology is an issue.
Yeah, I think
Technology is
they're
a
putting
challenge.
5G and 5G is still not working, right? So I was at a place that we have this opportunity, we have this idea to opportunity paradigm, and ideas keep on coming in minds of everyone every day, right? But the real challenge is that idea and opportunity, can it be taught? And if I ask all the professors out here and all the educators out here, what is the challenge that they face when they have to bring that thought or instill that thought in the minds of people, right? I perfectly believe, Ruby, that it can be taught, right? So sensing opportunity is as a theme. It's a teachable thing, right? So we can all impart that knowledge, right? So there could be 5 filters, 5 checks, and all those kind of things which can be taught, right? Now, the second stage of entrepreneurship teaching is about once we believe that, okay, this idea is workable, right? Then you move to the next stage, right? You actually have to make the damn thing, right? When I say make the damn thing, then someone has to make a iPhone, or someone has to make a nice recipe, or someone has to cook something. So it's actually something which I call kitchen science, right? So do our teachers encourage students to go to the kitchen and break things, right? So essentially that kitchen science has to be brought to classroom. And I think the educators today on the large scale, because I keep on interacting with educators all across India, and I think that's something that people are struggling with, right? And that really links to the fundamental question that was your second question, that is it a B school thing, or is it can it be taken to any other place, right? Why I say B school, because entrepreneurship की पढ़ाई B school में ही लोगों ने उसकी करानी शुरू की, right? So the management school professors, they said that okay, entrepreneurship को हम पढ़ाएंगे, but nothing gets made at B school, right? B schools are the places where people get trained to become a corporate officer, or Mandi Prasad can would say that a corporate clerk, right? So without getting lost into all that, but where does the real making happen? The real making happens where artisans work, right? जहां कुम्हार काम करता है. So अगर आपने कभी देखा होगा कि मिट्टी का बर्तन कैसे बनता है, तो वो फील्ड में बनता है. मिट्टी को वो या एक दर्जी कैसे काम करता है, तो वो कपड़े को काट करके अपना काम करता है, right? So the real working happens at the kitchen, right? Or a lab or something of that sort. Now, if you want to help people dream and become entrepreneurs without this lab, right? And this lab is actually a myth, right? Then it's not going to happen. We call that lab as a garage, right? So I run a school which is very small. We run in only about 1,500 square feet capacity place, right? It is not a 50,000 or a 1 lakh square feet capacity, which is there with most of the schools, right? So essentially what we need is a garage. We need to give them some tools, spanners to break things and to realize and to start making a product. Now, this is the thing which separates entrepreneurs from non-entrepreneurs, or the mindset, right? So there are two sorts of people. There are some sorts of people who don't know how to make things, but they're very good at getting things done by someone else, right? So which we call is again on the hallmark of entrepreneurial mindset, right? So I can't do anything, right? But I can nudge someone to.
Again, we lost Sanjeev ji.
No, what he's saying is right, Dr. Mandi. My next question to you, based on this only. You've started a great initiative called the Mahamandi Initiative, which has become so popular across India. So, in your view, if you look at the estimated youth unemployment rate in India, which is at more than 23% currently, we were discussing this yesterday also. So according to you, what are the challenges in the education system in India that, so that entrepreneurship is not a first option for students looking at a career, in spite of there not being enough jobs in the country? So what is it that we need to improve, and what are the challenges?
Yeah. The problem of unemployment is much more associated with the educated people. Unpad wale ke liye
Sir, I'm back. So my last point, I think the last point which I really wanted Ruby to be handed over. Sure. I think the last point what I wanted to say, once the damn product is made, then it is all about taking the product to market, right? And at that stage, I really think that I would really want to go down and hand over the mic back to you, Ruby, because that's the space where the Mahamandi has been doing a fantastic job. Right, so over to you.
Yes. So I just posed the question to him that he's actually done a project. He started his initiative. So where he's taking the product to the market. So and the next question I was posing is that what is it that's lacking in a system that people are still looking for jobs, even though there are not enough jobs in the country, and students are not looking at becoming entrepreneurs. So, sir, your viewpoints. You were just talking and.
Yeah, the the problem of education is that educated are becoming unemployed. Uneducated के लिए unemployment है, and बारी में यह है कि more educated much more employed, unemployed. This is the problem है, और बहुत ही खतरनाक चीज है. And the people who have got a best placement, they will face horrible unemployment, horrible dissatisfaction over a period of time. I repeat this particular sentence.
Why so, sir?
Actually, they have money, but they have a dissatisfaction in life. They lose jobs much more sharply. आज देखो, the kind of highly educated people, they are losing jobs much more, and they can't find out like. And this I could see with very highly educated people. They get a rosy jobs, 5 साल, फेंको उसको. Most of these people, after 5 years, 10 years, they become useless because they are not able to come out like that. Number one. Number two, even if they make money, their hearts have hurt, they have a dissatisfaction that they have not done what they want to do in life. This is most miserable thing for top higher education institutions people. These are the top 10%, 5%, 2% of the society. They are unhappy with their lives because they have not gone into the thing which they are interested in. So ये एक important चीज है. So हम क्या किया कि बहुत आसान है. Please understand. Inculcating enterprising बहुत आसान है. It's not at all difficult. इसमें क्या है कि दवा पिलाने वाले डॉक्टर पे हाथ पे रहता है कि whether we can heal this patient or not. ये दवा में कुछ नहीं रहता है. दवा देने वाला हाथ में रहता है कि कैसे क्या है, डिजाइन किया है. So this is an important thing. Sanjeev ji mentioned that garage of entrepreneurship, no, laboratory के बारे में. Mandi is one of the best garage for enterprise. मंडी के अलावा और कुछ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप सीखने के लिए कुछ नहीं है. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. मंडी में एक राउंड मारने से पूरा मालूम पड़ता है कि काम करना पड़ेगा, ऐसे पैसे मिलेगा, काम करने वाला को इज्जत मिलता है, काम करने से उत्सुकता आता है. I mean, completely. When you go to a fish market, you go to a vegetable market, the kind of enthu with which they live is absolutely different. The man who is giving in Dadar a slogan like Dalatin, Dalatin, Dalatin. Look at the way how he speaks. You go to Delhi market and see the kind of enthu they come out with that. That is missing in so-called glorified jobs with an education. Actually, they don't get intensity of life. Anyhow, this is the background for it. And Mandi is the best garage, I said, number one. Number two, और बहुत important चीज है कि आत्मा क्या है? एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की आत्मा ये है. This is the seed. This is the बीजा. बीजा है कि बेचना. मंडी में बेचने से कंप्लीट है. कोई भी मंडी में बेचता है, entrepreneurship is done. The big seedling is being done. Next आता है how you can scale up, how you can take it forward, survive. हो सकता है. So this is the ignition of enterprising, and it is can be done very easily. I will demonstrate it very easily. I will demonstrate it. So why I said is that एक किताब है. I don't know what is this gentleman is that. But if you go any young man and ask how many of you read this particular book, very few people will read this book. चलो, हमारे लिए कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. हम किसी इज्म के लिए काम नहीं कर रहे. हमारे लिए क्या कि पेट में खाना जरूरी है. एक सोच करना है कि हम खाने जो कुछ खाते हैं वो कमा के खाना है. हमारा पैर पे हम खड़े होके कमा के आगे जाना है. So what I have done is that I proudly say that I made my students to sell 5 lakh copies of this. 5 lakh. And please understand, we are not doing any social service. हर एक किताब पे उनको 10 रुपए कमीशन मिलता है. And इसकी कीमत है 40 रुपए। सर 400 पेजेस किताब 40 रुपए में बेचना है, 10 रुपए कमीशन मिलता है। इससे और कुछ बिजनेस हो सकता है क्या? ये एमबीए स्टूडेंट्स के लिए असाइनमेंट है। और कुछ मोर इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट, I mean, why should you sell this particular gentleman book? I don't know who is this gentleman is that. Everybody knows about it. There is no need to tell it like that. So this is done part of leadership training program. If you want to learn leadership, you have to sell 10 books of this in the market and tell about leadership का आप एक assignment लिख के देना है। बेचना जरूरी है, assignment जरूरी है। If you don't बेचने से, you don't get marks. If you don't give an assignment, you don't get marks. This is completely embedded part of leadership program. And आप सोच ले रूबी जी, 10 किताब मंडी में जाके घूम के शर्मा साहब को बेचना, पोखरिया साहब को बेचना, और ये कौन है IIT दिल्ली वाला कौन है, संजीव जी है ना, संजीव जी को बेचना बोले तो do you think that these people will take this book? ऐसा लेता क्या कि क्या क्या सवाल पूछेगा कर्नल साहब? ऐसे पूछेगा कि पूरा लीडरशिप, अरे तू क्यों आ रहा है? So the student has to read the book. If he has not gone to without reading it, कर्नल साहब नहीं छोड़ेगा। Look at 350 page, क्या लिखा है? A barber and barrister should have the same and equal similar salary. इसका मतलब क्या है? पूछेगा MBA से। Then you have 5 lakh kitabs of sold. So the idea is that the moment they went around, they met Amitabh Bachchan. मुंबई में अमिताभ बच्चन नहीं मिलेगा। And we can meet all any kind of police people, income tax people. We can meet everybody. We can meet it, and they love it. They hate it. They tell it. They learn it. So 5 lakh kitabs as well. So this is enterprising. बेच के सीखो। So this बेच के सीखो। जो सीखा उसी को बेचो। जहां सीखा वहीं बेचो। जब जब सीखा छोड़ो मत, तुरंत बेचो। एंड जिससे सीखा उसी को बेचो।
सही बोला।
A lot of people ask me saying that क्या प्रॉब्लम है बोल के। अरे इंग्लैंड वाला था ना, ब्रिटिश पीपल, they took cotton from us and they sold back cotton to us.
Yes.
हम पागल है। Anyhow, so this is a kind of, for example, I just show one more this thing. This is a if I give this light to a top class IIT student, ask him to sell in the market, saying that you have to sell it and you get a 40 rupees commission for it. And he has to teach about, you can imagine. And if you can't sell it, an engineer of top class engineering institute, what the hell these guys meant for it? And he's coming for an MBA. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is a paper binocular. And he has to sell this and he has to recall all his optics principle.
That's true, sir.
So we can make it so easy for anybody to do it. A dental college student can sell this particular wooden toothbrush. अरे plastic से क्यों wooden तक करो? Because the wooden toothbrush are not sold. That is the reason why this is there. So we made it very clear that students will be able to. 15th August, my students will be selling on the streets there. You can imagine a student's completely. So knowledge is there, vocational skill is there, पैसे बनाया है, confidence मिला है, marks मिला है, and CV में एक point लिखा है कि मैं बेच के सीखा है.
Very good, sir.
So this is the story of Mandi, and entrepreneurship can be taught to everybody. Entrepreneurship is nothing new for it. Indians are extremely good at entrepreneurship. We got the highest level of small traders. We got a self-employed percentage. And please understand, we should not shy away. Only obstacle is teaching entrepreneurship. And this particular conference, this particular meeting is basically meant to clear those things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That's very interesting what you're talking about. The fact that, in India, you actually mentioned that you need more and more trained professionals and educated professionals to come and take up entrepreneurship. So my question to Dr. Ashwini Sharma, what sort of professionals or students do you see coming for your courses? I was just wondering, there's a Symbiosis General University, there's a Skills University. So what sort of professionals do you see coming for your courses, and how do you motivate them to take up something like a skilling course so that they can become future entrepreneurs?
See, generally, if you see, we are running courses which are basically open to anyone who, that's after 12th only. But what we are trying to say is that what Mr. Professor Mandi Prasad Saab said just now, we try to basically make them feel, and their parents, that we need to add on a skill to knowledge if you want to be a successful entrepreneur or you want to be a successful professional. For example, it's a very simple case. We are running a courses which are not very common in the country. Let's say BBA, Logistic and Retail Management. Now we get an MBA degree, we get a BBA degree in HR, finance, or other things. But we have made it like this. So there, we are trying to basically, having a shop of Enrich. They are there. They basically, our students go to the shop of the Enrich, which is there within the campus. They sell the product. So we are trying to basically cultivate among the students and trying to sell the idea to parents also, that in the times to come, what Captain Anil said in the beginning, that looking to the population of the country, now we have to become a job giver rather than job seeker. And that is only possible once you start promoting, try to make everyone comfortable, especially the parents. Because it is a fact that when parents come to us for counseling or convincing, they say, "Nahi sir, isko to koi exam dena hai, isko IAS banna hai." Now we start saying, please be careful, times have gone. Even Honorable Prime Minister has also started making lateral entry of joint secretaries into the IAS cadre. So now government could also feel that we need more professional into the system to make the country run. So let's come out with that dilemma or idea, which we have been saying. मेरे को मेरे पिताजी ने कहा इंजीनियर बनना है 1980s में, तो मैं टॉपर था, मैं कॉलेज में चला गया, इंजीनियर बन गया. पर अब कई बार लगता है कि इंजीनियर क्यों बना, एंटरप्रेन्योर क्यों नहीं बना. तो ये इस तरह की जो स्टोरीज हैं, हम बच्चों को बताते हैं कि देखो मेरे साथ वो था, वो एंटरप्रेन्योर बना, आज वो 500 करोड़ रुपए कमा रहा है, मैं वही एक जो तनख्वाह मिलती है एज ए वाइस चांसलर वो लेके घर जा रहा हूँ. So we try to convince, and definitely we have been trying that we go with industry, we come out with new courses which are not existing in the system. क्योंकि आज की तारीख में हर बच्चा, हर पेरेंट से चाहता है नया फ्लेवर. न्यू फ्लेवर इज ए डिमांड ऑफ एवरीवन. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मेरे को लगा कि कोविड के बाद आफ्टर डिमोनेटाइजेशन एंड आफ्टर दिस ऑनलाइन यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, why not to start a BBA FinTech where we can train commerce graduate with technology background and technology savvy student with finance. So we have come out. There is a line for that. So what I mean by that कि हम यहाँ पे यही कोशिश करते हैं कि उस तरह के कोर्सेज चलाएं जहाँ पे कि बच्चों को हम ये बता सकें कि आपको अपने आप बिजनेस करना है, आपको अपनी इंडस्ट्री चलानी है, या आपको नए एरियाज में एक्सप्लोर करना है.
You mentioned the pandemic, sir, and that was one of the questions that I was thinking of asking. And maybe Colonel Pokhriyal, you can start by giving your viewpoints, or Shivesh, Dr. Mandi, if you have any viewpoints on this. During the pandemic, we saw that the digital medium, people have started really using the digital medium, and work from home has become the new normal. So do you all feel that that entrepreneurship will see a rise in the country? And there are two parts to this. One, we've also read that there's a lot of unemployment rates that have gone up, during the pandemic. Unemployment rates have really gone up during the pandemic. So do you feel this rise of entrepreneurship or solopreneurs or something, is it just a post-pandemic effect if it is increasing, or do you feel people have now learned that it's better to be an entrepreneur and be control of your own employment instead of just relying on others? Colonel Pokhriyal, to you first.
Yeah. Very good question, Ruby. And indeed, it is actually, the pandemic has given rise to so many opportunities, and the absorption of technology, the acceptance, few years back, the schools were banning mobile phone. My daughter's mobile phone was confiscated in the school. Now schools are the ones who are saying ki mobile mein padhai karo.
Yeah.
See the change which has taken place. Now my nephew, who's just 6 years, is also trying to grapple with the mobile and also the laptop. The issue is it is actually given a lot of independence and a lot of creativity open. We all know White Hat Junior, the kind of coding for the primary or the middle school students have started coming in. Indeed, it is going to open up. We'll see the results in maybe next couple of years or maybe next 5-10 years, but definitely it is a paradigm shift which is taken place because of the pandemic, because of the acceptability by even the colleges, by even the offices. My own office, we have a staff of 24. Now people are ready to do work from home, though it has got its different challenges now. But then yes, the acceptability of the employer, of the bosses, of the employees, of your peers have also opened up. So it is opening up the mindset again, like I said, and it is likely to give. I'm telling you, because we have done a lot of online training during this pandemic, and we were one of the first sector skill council who started the digital skill training initiative since 2019. We have done more than lakh enrollments, and we have done certification of more than 50,000 candidates. The balance are still at different stages of completion. That acceptability by the system, by the stakeholders, by the ecosystem has taken place. And definitely it is going to give rise to the entrepreneurs in the future, because now everybody has realized the job is very, very flimsy, and unless you are reskilled, upskilled, or you are not relevant to the organization or to the ecosystem, you are dispensable. If you have to be staying relevant, you have to have skill sets continually, and that is what is an entrepreneur all about. Risk taking, always agile, lean, thin, mean walking machine. He has to be a person who's always thinking and finding out the solutions for the challenges which he or she encounters every day. I'm dead sure it is going to give a very big rise to entrepreneurship, because people have now started realizing with so many unicorns. Can you imagine? In the first 6 months of this year, we have 21 unicorns in India, which is more than what we had in the last full year. So it is going to be multiplying effect. Pandemic has opened up tremendous opportunities. I'm very sure of that.
Yeah, what you're saying is right. And, you're mentioning the unicorns. And this is my question to you, Shivesh. How do you nurture on the entrepreneurial spirit to make it go beyond just creating a business plan? So how can you make a proper scalable venture?
Right, Ruby. I think a great question. And Colonel Pokhriyal, just to build on what you said, right? Whenever there are things like pandemic, whenever there are changes in the trajectory of how society is moving forward, there is entrepreneurial opportunity, right? And there will be people who would be willing to exploit on those opportunities. Today, the market is more ready to digital ways of working, and there are there are at least thousands of teams who are working to crack and solve various kinds of digital problems. So there are people who are working on digital health, there are people who are working on digital education, there are people who are working on cloud kitchens. So suddenly all those things are becoming more and more real, and we are adapting to the new world. Analytics, artificial intelligence, everything is now getting embedded. Now, coming to the question that Ruby, you posed, that how do you actually build entrepreneurs? And the secret, as I said, I think I mentioned, the secret is in the kind of kitchen that you want to build, right? So if you build a kitchen or a garage where people can come, today they can come and build a biotech startup. Tomorrow someone come and build an electric vehicle startup. Next day someone come and could come and build a health tech startup, right? So these are all different kinds of startup, and day after another one comes and he builds a social startup. So these are the variety of startups, and I think I'm only limiting myself by giving.
I think Shivesh's network is again. Yeah. Can others be on mute, please? Can others be on mute, please? Would you like to add to this, Dr. Ashwini Sharma, while Shivesh is joining, or Dr. Mandi? I think Dr. Mandi was required.
Sir, can we?
Dr. Mandi, has Shivesh joined back?
Yeah, I have come.
Yeah, Shivesh.
Yeah. So I'm really, as I said, that the network is really bugging where I am. And maybe some youngster would come and say that, sir, you have got a really bad network. I can share network sitting in Chennai back to you, right? And those ideas are today possible, right? It's only limited to the imagination that you have. So essentially, it goes to three things, as I said: getting the idea right, getting the ideas converted into a product or service, and then taking it to market, right? So the doing skill is not ideation. The doing skill is to build products, right? And the role of university and all the professors, it becomes critical. So how you integrate various labs which are there in schools and colleges, right? So if you think in terms of colleges, right, there used to be chemistry lab, but are we allowing people to play with those things, right? And every time there'll be someone who's like, shh, kharab ho jayega, kuch jal jayega, and all that, right? So we really need to get over these hangovers and say that try, right? Entrepreneurship is all about experimentation, right? So the more you allow people to experiment things, you can get different combination of products. Okay, and once you are able to get different combination of products, then you will really start thinking that whether this product would be acceptable in market or would not be acceptable in market. Look, colleges are risk-free atmospheres, right? We are young. When we are student in colleges, it's risk-free. And in that risk-free atmosphere, it's very easy to allow people to break things, right? And just one last point, and this is open to all the professors out here. You can go to your college laboratories, take an inventory of all the things. It could be lying rust.
I think Shivesh's network has again disconnected. I think, is he joining back? Let's see. Let's wait for a second. Hello, Shivesh, have you joined back?
I'm really sorry. Last point. I'm very sorry to everyone. My point was, if you go to college, if you really go to college lab and look at, take inventory of all the microscopes and telescopes and lenses and chemicals and acids and burettes and pipettes and all that, ये सब सड़ रहा होंगे, right? और अगर सड़ रहा तो आप मुझे कॉल जरूर कीजिएगा, हम उसको ले लेंगे, क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई न कोई बंदा है जिसको उसकी जरूरत होती है. Right? Because we put all those things to use. We actually allow people to play with these things. You can actually tell people to convert those telescopes into microscopes into telescopes and look at the stars and say that, okay, Richard Branson जा रहा है, चलो हम भी अपना spaceship बना सकते हैं. Right? So those are the things, and that's how you weave dreams.
So, Shivesh, quickly on this, because there's a question in the chat about, how do you get funding for your venture, which is a very important part of building an enterprise, and what sort of incubation centers are there in India? Can I on this? Yeah, Dr. Mandi, you want to talk? Yeah, mention.
I can just try for that.
Yeah.
A funding का बहुत चीज होता है. वो सोचता है कि मुझे फंडिंग चाहिए बोले तो उसके लिए कुछ क्वालिफिकेशन होता है. इसके लिए कुछ काम भी करना पड़ेगा. बिना काम करके आप लाइन में खड़े होके बोले तो मुझे पैसे जाना बोले तो कोई नहीं दे देगा. तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि पैसे पूछने से पहले आप कितना काम किया है एंटरप्राइज पे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इफ द एंटरप्रेन्योर हैज डन 5% वर्क, he will definitely get next 10% investment. So if he has done next 10%, he will get a 50% investment. So काम जितना ज्यादा किया, फंडिंग इतना ज्यादा मिलता है, और ज्यादा किया और मिलता है. So फंडिंग की मतलब है कि कुछ काम नहीं किया बोलता है कि मुझे फंडिंग दे दे मैं शुरू करूंगा. अरे ऐसा कैसे थोड़ी होता है भाई. So this is what I have seen with most of the, this is basically a misunderstanding. सोचता है कि मैं पैसे देने से मैं शुरू करूंगा. कितना होना है? 40 लाख होना है. कभी देखा जिंदगी में 40 लाख? कभी किसको दिया आप 40 रुपए? किसी को दिया? पुकार ऐसा कि कोई नहीं दिया है। सो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज मैं बोलने का है कि यू वर्क 1% and ask for 20% investment, you'll get it. So ये मेरे बोलने का चीज है, शुरू करो, सर्वाइव करो, स्किल अप की बात हम सोच सकते हैं. Please understand, if you've got a great ideas, there are a number of investors looking around for you. Don't say that पैसे देने वाला नहीं है. You should be काबिलियत होना है. Have that kind of thing, saying that your idea should be proved that this is worth for it, like that. वो फेसबुक वाला दिखाया करके दिखाया है कि हार्वर्ड में every day new 300 people are coming for his Facebook. पहले दिन दिखाया था. अदरवाइज पीटर थिल थोड़ी दे देगा पैसे. पीटर थिल क्यों दिया पैसे? उनको मालूम है कि every day 300 new people are coming for Facebook, so this can explode. So friends, पैसे की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है दुनिया में. गांधी सेड, गांधी वाज टोल्ड बाय गोखले सेइंग दैट इंडिया में पैसे का कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. पैसे पूछने वाला सही आदमी होना है. एक गोखले गांधी को बोला था. So please understand, work 1%, work 0.5%. कुछ तो करो काम. बिना काम पैसे पूछने के लिए you should not have any right to do that. Thank you.
You know, one additional question on this to you, Dr. Mandi. You know, we are on the anniversary of the new education policy, and which is talking about more vocational education at the school and the higher education level. Now, what do you feel should be the purpose of education? Should it be to build entrepreneurs?
Yeah. हाँ, please understand. I mean, ये नहीं है कि entrepreneurs है, others are not there. Education can become employees, can also create entrepreneurs. It can also create educated, entrepreneurial, and also employment. कुछ problem नहीं. E1 is right, E2 is right, E3 is also right. पहले important चीज है कि शिक्षा हुआ बोल के इसकी मतलब है कि वो खुद उनका पैर पे खड़े हो सकता है. आत्मनिर्भर होना है. आत्मा दुर्भर होता है, बोलता है कि मैं मेरा डिग्री है, मैं 20 साल पढ़ाई किया एंड कोई भी नौकरी दे दो मैं करूंगा, कुछ भी सैलरी. ये कैसे होता है? So the biggest problem lies with an education, that education is not able to process out Atmanirbhar graduates. It's बहुत आसान चीज है, and it can be done. Actually, if you give me 1 or 2 minutes later on some other time also, I don't mind to make it. It is the education which is spoiling the youth. ये important चीज है. Please, we are not giving the right education. That is the reason why the people are. Please, if people are getting spoiled despite education, इसका कौन जिम्मेदारी है? Because ये दवा पिया है, that is the reason why my health got spoiled. So किसका जिम्मेदार है? दवा दिया है उसका है. So education has to get, please listen, it can be done well. And I'm very happy that these principles we have from 1920 and 30. Gandhiji told as early as 1920s and 30s, 26 में किया कि हमारे लिए अलग education होना है. I request the audience to look at book mkgandhi.org. Go there and see this. This is a simple book. You can understand what kind of thing. This is what today we are talking about new education policy. Vocational education is spoken here. मातृभाषा में पढ़ाई बोला है इधर. और बोला है कि आत्मनिर्भर व्यक्ति को हम बनाना है, बोला है इसमें. Good. I think I have got a high regard for new education policy. Vocational education is being stressed. Enterprising student startups is being stressed. Only thing is the middlemen, basically the educators, like, no, these are the middlemen. They have to cooperate and operationalize. I would like to use the word operationalize this. उसको operationalize करने में जादू educators दिखाना है. Yeah. पॉलिसी वाला पे जादू नहीं होता है, जादू होता है
implementation.
दवा कैसे खिलाना बेटा को माँ को मालूम है, प्यार से खिलाता है. डॉक्टर को भी मालूम नहीं कैसे खिलाना है, खिलाता है. The educators should today become how to make vocational education is part and parcel of life. Atmanirbharata is part of it. It is, you don't require any, you give me 1 or 2 minutes later on or anytime, I'll tell you how we have done it, and it is, can be done very easily. And I got a great regard, vocationalization, mother tongue, and enterprise. V, M, and E. Vocational education, enterprising, and
Mother tongue.
these 3 things are important. Thank you.
Thank you. We are talking a lot about vocational education right now. Now, this question is for you, Colonel Pokhriyal. A particular concern has been the skilling of the rural youth, and they constitute nearly 68% of our country's population. There, the penetration of vocational training is very low. So how do you feel, skill centers like yours can bridge the gap?
Yeah. Again, a nice question, Ruby. And in fact, what I say, this government is that way is very, very agile. And they have come out and they have tweaked the system, the policy of Skill India Mission by incorporating and co-opting with the district skill committees. Now, every skill committee will be there at a district level. That means 720 or 740 plus district skill committees have to come up. Though, in a big country like ours and with a very, very, elephantine bureaucratic, system there, it is slightly slow. Last year, they have started, October 2020, the government started with this concept of strict district skill committee. The emphasis from centralization has gone to decentralization. The money which was being spent at the central schemes at the Government of India, Ministry of Skill Development's funding was 75% with 25% allocation going to the states. Now that is likely to be reversed in a couple of years going forward. It will become 75% to the states with 25% only remaining with the Union Ministry. This is a very big step because everybody has realized, and more so during this pandemic when this reverse migrants, migration took place. People are wanting jobs next to their bed, not also in their village. They don't want to move out of their village, maximum district, or maybe beyond a block or something, but definitely not state. That migration actually has to also stop because it is putting pressure on so many other amenities and infrastructural challenges are taking place. The metros are actually, they are bursting at the seams. So the government has rightly understood that. The only challenge which now the corporate or the industry has to take place is that we also have to start moving out of the clusters. We have to move out of the regional kind of mindset. We have to move out of, the SEGs have to be created at more interior locations. Like we were discussing yesterday, the Northeast is one big untapped area. There's so much of natural resources which is there. Why should all Northeastern youth have to come to Bangalore or Delhi to study or to do any vocation? There's so many opportunities, multiple opportunities which are there. Let's try and take the job or vocation or self-employability options to their local village. The artisans which are there, the skill sets which are there for centuries, they need.
Colonel, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So listen, I think this is also for Dr. Sharma. Look, when we think in terms of vocational education, what role do traditional colleges have to play? And let me explain the concept why this question has come to me. And this is completely to do with entrepreneurship, right? So colleges are sprung all across the country, right? There could be 100,000 colleges in India, or maybe more, right? Maybe 4 or 5 lakh colleges. They are there where students are, where people are. Now, usually people would climb the ladder of education by studying arts, humanities, science, etc., or engineering and all that, right? But vocational education means that you take a skill and then you become very good at it. Now, link this to what country needs, right? All of us, after that education, a lot of us actually end up becoming solopreneurs. Solopreneurs matlab main apni ek dukaan dal leta hu, right? And that solopreneurship would be as simple as a woman setting up, and Ruby, I'll come to you on this, a chart shop or a fashion shop, a man setting up a bookstore, or someone setting up a sweet shop, and all those kind of things. The education system does not prepare any one of us to pursue any of those what I call as the solopreneurship traits. Now, if I want to link these two things, and that's why my question was there to both of you, right? How should someone like MEPSC prepare someone like Symbiosis Skills University to create 1 million or maybe 5 million or 10 million entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
This is exactly the question I was going to ask next also, and good, maybe you both can speak about this.
Yeah, so
public-private participation and skilling, that's very important. So
see,
can
what you said is perfectly right. See, this is what Pandit Prasad sir has also been saying, that until unless the hands-on are there in the education system, that is not possible to make any. I've been saying this many times, even I have published a paper also, that if only the school education or the college education give you something, then everybody who is in IIM or some good colleges, NITs, IITs, they should become Ambani, Adani, Tata, Birla, or maybe the Newton. What I mean by that is that, see, once you're going to the school part or the college part, you only get the knowledge, the basic fundamentals, how you can drive, how you can become polished. But finally, what comes to the reality is that you should have a skill. I will give you a very simple example, which Honorable Prime Minister also quoted in his speech, which I think Mrs. Ruby knows. I've been saying since 2012, that if somebody asks me as a teacher that how to drive a motorcycle on a blackboard, I will say, I will draw the two wheels. I will say, this is the clutch, this is the accelerator, plug in the key, motorcycle will run. It is a 2-minute lecture. But if I give the key to the same person and say there is a motorcycle on the road, please drive it out, I can bet even I learned motorcycle driving in 2 days. So there's a difference between 2 minutes versus 2 days. What I'm trying, although I also come from the now academics fraternity, I'm not making a comment on anyone, but I'm trying to say this is what is required, that now teachers also need to be hands-on in the whole system. A teacher can teach you a Pythagoras theorem very well, but he doesn't know where to utilize this, where to apply that. A commerce teacher can give you balance sheet, profit and loss account, everything, but he's not able to understand what is a profit, how it is being done. So this is what basically in the education system we have been trying, and we are trying to cultivate, which I feel the Honorable Prime Minister in the new education policy has made it mandate now that teachers also need to be trained on these practical aspects, because until unless teachers are trained, the way we are thinking, see, you can make any policy. We are very good in making policies. There is no doubt on that part. Especially those who are sitting in the air-conditioned rooms, they make policies without consulting those who are in the field. One. Secondly, just I will take 1 minute more. That industry, which Ruby said just now, that definitely industry also has to come forward for the partnership with the education institutes. And that is only possible, whichever industry is operating in the vicinity of the education institute, they should approach the education institute, whether it is a university, whether it is a college, or whether it is a school, and try to do some resource sharing in terms of manpower, in terms of infrastructure, or even the new policy says, Government of India says that under the CSR you can take up these activities. So what I mean by that is that definitely the private-public partnership is mandated, especially to grow and to become Atmanirbhar Bharat, the way we have been thinking, targeting Skill India. All industry partners, all industry associates, all entrepreneurs who are running the industry or running the business, they have to collaborate with education institutes and try to cultivate the practical part. And this is the strength of Symbiosis Skill and Professional University, where we are giving maximum emphasis, which is around 70% on skills only. That means we try to give them hands-on into the industry. We get the industry expertise, we get the industry faculty. And this is one of the platforms where I will say that government has now to think that the requirement of the faculty for skill university, for vocational universities, vocational colleges is totally different from the conventional education system, because we don't need a PhD holder or a MTech. We need somebody who understands the subject, who has run something, who has drove something, who has done a business. Thank you.
Kanu Saab, एक छोटा सा सवाल मैं खाली I'm just trying to build up on Dr. Sharma's because there's also a question by Professor Shivani Abrol. This is on teachers need to be trained, right? So essentially, the question is that if we have to really build 1 million entrepreneurs, right, the solopreneurs and all that, and through a college system, or right, there are many systems out there. But let's say that take college system, because it's well established system. What kind of upgradation in teaching skills would you desire?
Okay.
Can you repeat the question again, sir?
Yeah, जो mass level पे entrepreneurs बनाने के लिए teachers को किस type से upgrade करना होगा? कनु साहब सर, उसके बाद आप बोल दीजिए.
Okay.
कनु साहब.
Yeah. I think Mandi sir बोलना चाह रहे हैं.
हाँ, actually I wish to.
हाँ.
Yeah, ये बहुत आसान चीज है, and that's the reason I would like to tell it. Entrepreneurship is not extracurricular; it is part of regular learning only. Important चीज है. दूसरा चीज है कि entrepreneurship करने से, startup करने से उनको employment अच्छा मिलना है. ये क्या है बोल के बोला, no problem. Once somebody has done entrepreneurship, goes for an employment, वो टिकेगा नहीं, वो छोड़ के आएगा. And especially starting entrepreneurship, going for an employment, resigning and coming back entrepreneurship is pakka foundation for sahi entrepreneur ke liye. I'll repeat this particular process again.
So, sir, I think you are on a different trajectory, because the question is, how should a teacher upgrade himself or herself?
Okay. Teachers की मतलब होता है कि ये तो थोड़ा एक उंगली में जादू होना जरूरी है, थोड़ा सोच में होना है. And one of the things which I would like to tell is that we are
actually, sir, मेरे को एक थोड़ा सा उसमें उंगली में जादू
क्या बोले? हाँ. So the issue is that most of the teachers also coming from humble background, they have worked very hard and they become faculty. I've seen 40-50% of the faculty, they come hard way, especially Mohsil, especially rural district level teachers. They came to the teaching with a very hard way. Please understand, 50% reservations are available in the country. Most of the people are first generation people. They had their vocational education and their vocational skills ke saath hi aaya tha. But the moment they become faculty, they forgot all their background. They are not able to bring in the practice side of it into the kind of thing. And today the NEP is asking them, that is what I'm saying is that I would like to give an example. I come from a tailoring, I'm a tailor. आपका shirt बना सकता हूँ 3 घंटा में, hand में ना hanger डालता हूँ मैं. And I'm a ladies tailor also. I can stitch. Okay, that's not an issue. So I supported my education working as a tailor and became a professor. But my BCom never gave me vocational skills. And my BCom and MCom and PhD always depended on my teacher skill. I mean, tailor skills. And I supported working hard as a tailor and supported my teaching, my education. This is the sad part. And I've seen good number of my faculty colleagues who come from, वो गने का रस बेच के वो प्रोफेसर बन गया. आज पूरा एकदम वो काम के बिना पढ़ाई बोलता है. Because the whole issue is that he forgot the whole kind of thing. The new culture, new thing which they gotten is absolutely mimicking like that. Please, India में काम करना बिना आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा.
Yeah, you're right, sir.
80% people are below the kind of thing. So this is one of the things where faculty should be able to bring in, able to be told very clearly, saying that what you went through should be able to put it on your students so that they will be able to do. इसके लिए एक process है. Actually, I wish to say here a process in teaching. I say there are 1, 2, 3, 4 projects I do it. One is the Mandi, is a one-day exercise. एक ही दिन का है. 1000 students go to the market. एक दिन में बेचना है एक चीज है. One day forget, but it's done part of a course. Not only one course, maybe half a dozen courses. This is one. And final is a MBA final project for 6 months and 3 months, 5 months. They do it a startup. This is the one mode. But it is a full-fledged startup. They do it like that. In between, we also got a project. Basically, when an entrepreneurship is being taught to the students, a course is being taught, the student has to develop a startup part of the course. So one day startup, one course startup, one program startup. We can have a one summer project startup. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 different kind of startups for a student in the 2 years of program. I'll repeat: final project, summer project, course project, day project.
So you're right.
Once these particular 4 things are being done, part of enterprising, and इससे ज़्यादा काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Whatever the work is doing in the part of 1, 2, 3, 4 only they are doing. They are not doing anything new. What we are doing is we are embedding enterprising part of regular curriculum.
Thank you, sir.
Hands full, but also pocket full.
So you're right. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you because we're running out of time.
Sorry.
Shivesh,
So this is the formula for. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, because you answered one question from the chat also.
Ruby, I will take a minute to answer to the Sanjeevana question because that is a very relevant question.
Yeah.
How to multiply, millionaires, those who can become entrepreneurs or who can start an activity, or how we can train the teachers. See, there are 2 ways to take up this activity. One is that we have to have a regular upgradation of knowledge of the teachers, faculties. That has to become a part of the system. And secondly, these teachers are to be put to the industry for their knowledge upgradation. Rather than, academic, we go to Masuri, we go to other places, we have a course curriculum, but that theoretical and the classroom teaching will not take further. They have to be trained. Let's say what we have done in our system, that our faculty once in a year have to go to industry for 2 months, and they have to do some project. They have to understand the technology of the industry. So education upgradation is a mandate for that.
What you all are saying is right, and there was a question in the chat also, that is our current MBA syllabus more programmed towards building employees or entrepreneurs, so, and somewhere you all have answered, because it's a lot of the role has to be taken by the faculty in inculcating a spirit of entrepreneurship among students. So I think Colonel Pokhriyal, you wanted to add something on this, or
I think it's good to go because we have a time stipulation.
Yeah, because I
want to add one thing, and I think there's a suggestion.
Again, Shivesh, your network is
At a critical juncture, he goes off air.
The rest of the time is there. So while Shivesh, are you back? Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So one quick point, Kanusab, which I wanted to add was, we have been doing a lot of faculty development programs, which are, let's say, sponsored by UGC, CSIR, Department of Science and Technology and all that. And I can tell you that the format of that program, and to all the esteemed professors out here, with due respect to everyone, that sucks, right? वो 15 दिन का फॉर्मेट होता है और उसमें पता नहीं हम क्या सीखा. And I interact because I can see some of the teachers who are there, who were there in that program. Essentially, you run a very quick, short 2 to 3 day program to actually help teachers do what Dr. Sharma mentioned. Scooter chalana sikha do aap. Right? Only then you can create mass level, because if we really want to build 1 million entrepreneurs, then we also need 1 lakh teachers. Right? और अगर lakh teachers के लिए हमने program करना है, then the mindset has not to be a very template driven UGC mindset and all that. We require a different mindset to create program, and that is what I suggest, Kanu Saab, at MEPSC, if you can create a 2-day teaching program for all college teachers on how to quickly do entrepreneurship skilling, to do solopreneurship and all that. I think those things are possible.
Very, very true, Mr. Shivesh. And you being our NOS committee member, which is National Occupational Standard, these are the national standards which we develop as an awarding body or as a sector skill council for our mandated sector. So, in fact, the work has already started. We have started developing the qualification pack and the National Occupational Standard, and taking ideas from this workshop and maybe many more going forward. The brightest mind here, we would seek out to each one of you separately or collectively, and then refine our. It is a continuous process. We have to understand we are a young nation as far as skilling is concerned. Entrepreneurship is a bigger elephant, which we are trying to decode during this effort. But then yes, it is a collective effort which we really need to sharpen our skills, hone our skills, and come to a very short, crisp, intense, focused kind of a program which gives tremendous value. The ROI, the return on investment, has to be much more when we impart this kind of a skill set to a faculty. And I definitely agree with this point, because जब तक गुरु अच्छे से तैयार नहीं होगा, अच्छे से आर्म नहीं होगा, अच्छे से स्किल नहीं होगा, we will not have शिष्यास or chelas who will be doing better than them.
That's true.
मैं यहाँ पे रूबी एक चीज ये और कहना चाहूंगा कि जो हमारा एक कंसेप्ट है कि learn and do, that has to be replaced by learning while doing. That has to be done.
That's true, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That change of mindset. I always come back to
Yes.
that. Change of mindset. Change
Of professors.
Accept
Of
everything.
professors.
Everybody. I'm saying starting from the family, because family has got the influence on the kid.
Yeah, you're right.
कि नौकरी करना है बेटा, तेरे को ना 10,000 का नौकरी करना है, 15,000 का नौकरी करना है. One of my
तुम्हें कर्नल बनना है, entrepreneur नहीं बनना है.
exactly.
Something like that.
One of my nephew from the village has come, and he's just done a diploma in draftsmanship from Garhwal, Uttarakhand. He's getting an internship, remuneration of 15,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees in Delhi in Rajouri Garden. And we have IITs and MBAs who are getting 10,000, 15,000 as the initial salary. IITs graduates are getting, Infosys is just paying 10,000, 15,000. So the point is, it has to be a skill. And internship में उस बच्चे को अगर आज 15,000 रुपए मिल रहा है, वो भी दिल्ली में, वो गढ़वाल से IITI से सीख कर आया है draftsmanship. The example which Dr. Sharma was giving, the people are earning more than the coder.
So, these are very relevant examples, but because I'm a woman entrepreneur myself, and I've been looking at the time limit and dying to ask this question to all of you. I'm a women entrepreneur, and I see very few women entrepreneurs, especially in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. And I'm not just talking about freelancers and solopreneurs over here. So my question to all of you, and quickly, one minute, do you feel, first Shivesh, do you feel is gender an issue when it comes to entrepreneurship in India? Because we started a course, I remember She at Work and Test, we started a course for women entrepreneurs together called Atmanirbhar She, which is an 8-week program. So do you feel women can become better entrepreneurs with their multitasking abilities, their inherent empathy, etc.? So Shivesh, your viewpoint, and then quickly to everybody.
Absolutely. I think not as so India is 75 years old. We are young on that, but we have not been fit.
I think again Shivesh's network has gone.
Yeah. So Ruby, I will.
Sharma,
Ruby, I will say that in the times to come, you will find that 70% business will be captured by women entrepreneurs. One of the reason is they are very submissive. They are very aggressive. You see, mother is the best entrepreneur in the whole system. She manages everything. She manage cooking. She manage husband. She manage mother-in-law. So these are all verticals of the customers. So I personally feel that definitely women will be a better entrepreneur in times to come, because they can deliver better in terms of quality, in terms of everything.
Sir, but what has been your experience at Symbiosis? Do you see more and more women coming for skilling courses?
Yes. Let me tell you that we are running many courses in terms of skilling for women only. Let's say, we are having a school of beauty and wellness, where the 200
women coming at par with men, they join.
Yes, but they are doing better than them. They are doing better than them, especially, School of Beauty and Wellness. School of Beauty and Wellness has 200 seats. Brilliant. 198 are the females, 2 are the males only. Because
Like,
this is what we
about
could
the
find.
other courses, the non-traditional women courses? I mean, to talk about this other disciplines. Do you
Other
see-
disciplines also they are coming, but they are in the ratio of, I think, maybe 30 women, 30% women and 70% male. But now I think things are changing slowly.
And Colonel Pokhriyal and Dr. Mandi, in your experience?
Yeah, it is likely to increase. And yes, but then yes, again, like I said, we are a patriarchal society. Women have not been given the opportunities for education, for vocation. Are tum kya karti ho, tum kya janti ho? No, all those factors are there. But then yes, whenever a woman has tried, she has the success ratio, if we see vis-a-vis the men, is definitely far more because of the inherent qualities. God has created them multitasking, empathy, so many factors which they can do much better than men, because we get kind of distracted. But those girls and women, hats off to each one of you. That is why if we see the success ratio of the women trying their hand in entrepreneurship and succeeding is much more than men trying and leaving it and then going back to job and maybe coming back and getting failed and again coming back. So they are definitely, I agree.
Yeah, Dr. Mandi, and then with you.
Yeah, Ruby is an example. Ruby ji is an example for best entrepreneur.
I feel as a woman entrepreneur, you can balance your time better. You can even work at 12 in the night. For women, you need that flexibility. Yeah.
There is no doubt entrepreneurship is mostly related to feminine quality. It doesn't mean gender. Please understand.
Yeah.
Basically a feminine character, feminine features, feminine mindset actually. And there are men who got that kind of a feministic kind of thing. There's nothing to do with the gender actually. There are people who got a variety, able to take care of multiple things as it is. But women are fantastic. There's no doubt. It's a terrific people. There's no doubt about it. Actually, we are in this position only because of we have not educated women. That is what we should have understood.
Yeah.
We are not educated then, number one. Number two, men and women coming together is an amazing thing for an enterprise. It need not be only women, it need not be only men kind of thing. Both can together can be doing. We got a student, men and women, both together, they start enterprises, amazing enterprises they start.
Yeah.
So even give a better grade for my students, when a boy and a girl together come and start a startup, I suspect many things, including a marriage and also successful startup.
That's a very important point, sir, that women and men both are equally working in the startup, because in a lot of places in India, women are just entrepreneurs on paper. When so that's also a very relevant point. Shivesh, your closing remarks on this?
No, absolutely. I agree with Professor Mandi Prasad, right? So if you think in terms of business and holistically, right, it has two parts. One is venture building, which is largely which relates largely to the feminine side of all the skills and capacity. The other is the bad world of competition, right, which is largely a man's world, right? I'm just trying to now personality wise, but there are women who can really do very well in competition. There are men who can do very well in the feminine side of building up things, right? I really think that we need to involve, and as society, we need to involve and encourage more and more women to join the field of entrepreneurship. Only then the society can move forward. We really need to have more role models like Ruby and Shivani and everyone who's there for the entrepreneurship to flourish and to reach every parts of the country.
Great. I think Shivesh's network again went off, but I think he gave his remarks.
I'll just give you a small example, Ruby, and Shivesh also knows that girl. There is a girl who was working in the fashion industry for about 10 years, and she's from Assam originally, and she moved back to Assam and she started resuscitation of the local skill sets of the local artisans in Airy Sale. And now she's having a raving business. She's exporting it to the fashion houses in Europe. So that is the kind of she took that risk. That risk is the core of entrepreneurial mindset and the skill set. So she took that risk. She left that job, went back to her roots, very happy in her hometown in a small town of Assam, and doing a raving business.
Ruby, here I would like to add that I think this COVID has resulted into more female entrepreneurs they have started going into the business of this mask and this, that, all these things. I think, definitely if the opportunity is given, females can do wonders. There is no doubt on that part.
You're right. I think Shivesh is also back.
Yeah, Ruby, I really wanted to hear from you. I only wanted to make one point, that if there is a women entrepreneur, then I can assure you that the next generation will have entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Very
Right. And
That's
that's why it's very
Perfectly right.
important to,
Janani hai,
bring more.
Janani hai, Janani of ideas of entrepreneurship also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. I think if there's an entrepreneur in the family, the rest of the family also starts getting motivated towards becoming entrepreneurs. So, all of us need to start setting an example. And thanks a lot. We've run out of time. It's been a great discussion. Somebody was telling me the other day, Mali nahi Malik bano. So basically, it's something our education system, we as parents, we as colleagues, we should motivate others to also become entrepreneurs. And it's a role that not just the government, but I think every organization, every individual has to inculcate the sense of respect for entrepreneurs, the sense of respect for entrepreneurship as a career. So, and our education system has a strong, big role to play in this, especially at the undergrad, at the college level. So thanks a lot for
Thank you very much.
for taking out your time. I mean, it was a wonderful discussion, and I'm sure it will motivate a lot of our youth to take up entrepreneurship at the college level.
Ruby, can we
Thank you
just
once
quickly take one or two questions if people have?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
one.
Okay. And there was a poll also, Shivesh, which was
Yeah.
running simultaneously, and I've seen a lot of people sharing their views on this. Can
I'm
entrepreneurs
sharing
colleges?
I'm sharing the results of the poll.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we have time for another question or something? Then I can definitely.
Anyone can ask any question. There was one comment that someone made that we'll put the recording of this thing on YouTube, and you'll all receive a message on your email through which you have registered. And if you're putting your mobile number, then a message will also go there. But any question, we'll be happy to take.
So, but there's no other question in the chat that I could see.
There were a few of the questions
which have already been answered, I think so.
Yeah, we've answered everything, but one question that maybe all of you could just say one word of advice to students who want to take up entrepreneurship as a course. Just one sentence of advice, quick advice.
I think that they should be ready to bear the challenges which are there in the system. They have to be critical thinker and complex problem solver.
Yeah, this is a very good quality also. So maybe Dr. Mandi?
I think Sanjeev ji is the best person for this, I think. I seek Sanjeev's answer. Yeah.
Sir,
I have only one word for this: jump.
Risk.
Take the plunge.
Kudo.
Yeah,
Kudo.
Risk. Take the jump or do whatever you want.
I think there are two questions, Ruby.
Yeah, there's a question that's come. How do we transition from a no teaching related to entrepreneurship school to a college where entrepreneurship should be focused? Who would like to take this?
Yeah. So it's some teachers should take initiative. That's important. And the second thing is that the administration, the management, especially the director, because today AICTE is insisting like anything. Today, the whole, they got an incubation, they got a ranking is up based on the entrepreneurship. So today, colleges cannot escape. Only thing is, they should at least follow what AICTE is asking. Sahastra Vidyas is asking for it. If that can be done, it can be easily done. It's not a major issue.
Great. Any other views on this, Dr. Sharma?
No, what he said is perfectly right, that everywhere now we have to promote entrepreneurship, and that's the reason Government of India is also emphasizing very much on Startup India and Make in India. So I think we have to take this motto, as that's the reason even when we are going for Atal ranking and all these things, there is a weightage for that. So I think this is a new concept which has come up in last 2-3 years, where Government of India, even the state governments are working on innovation, research, and then startups like that. So I think it's a very good idea. And let me tell you, I'm a part of the Government of India Committee for Science and Technology. There also we are trying to create a database wherever any R&D is being done that can be shared with all industry, so they can pick up the product and they can start into rolling it out through a startup.
Okay, great. Just one word of advice from you, Colonel Pokhriyal, to all aspiring entrepreneurs.
Sorry,
Or on skilling or entrepreneurship. What do you feel?
Yeah, actually, people have to come forward. The ecosystem has to change, and we have to give more. The dignity has to be brought into the spirit of entrepreneurship. If we bring in dignity, and that is a collective effort by the society, by the ecosystem, by all the stakeholders involved, and if we build that kind of कि अच्छा ये शायद पढ़ने में अच्छा नहीं था इसलिए इसने धंधा खोल दिया, इसने बिजनेस शुरू कर दिया.
This is the biggest thing.
So those kind of things, those kind of negative fallouts of somebody's vocational choice has to be done away with. He or she may be earning millions, or maybe much more happier challenging a particular problem or the societies or their own life, whatever they have encountered. But then still people say कि अच्छा तुम्हारा तो अभी धंधा अभी पैंडेमिक में इसी people have lost money. हमें देखो हमारे को कम से कम 25,000-50,000 रुपए महीना तनख्वाह आ रही है, 9 से 5 जॉब करना है. So that mindset has to change. That is what is the most important thing.
Yeah, no risk, no gains. Entrepreneurship, somebody had told that you spend a few years of life in such a manner that for the rest of your life, you set an example for others.
Exactly.
So Shivesh, I mean, your ending words of advice to students aspiring to become entrepreneurs, and how do you convey to them that entrepreneurship is a cool profession to be in, cool career to be in?
No, I think all students know it's a cool. I think all students know it's a cool profession to be in. What they are looking for is a place where they can safely go there and discuss their things and experiment stuff, right? I really think to a few people who really want to create curriculums for entrepreneurship or to make their college more entrepreneurship focused, I think we can, if you reach out to us, we can really help. We will be very happy to be part of that long mission of creating 1 million entrepreneurs. We have MOOC programs, we have venture labs, we have entrepreneur assessments, personality assessment tools, we have simulations and all that, which really makes, which really takes away the fear of getting started, right? So that is from teachers. That is what I think, that's what Mahamandi is all about. That's what we do is all about. Make the damn thing easy for people to take the plunge, right? So if you know that if you are take the plunge, hurt yourself, everyone can take the plunge.
There's one last question, Shivesh, from Davneel Pandit. Where can we put creativity in entrepreneurship? Maybe you could just touch upon this, the importance of idea generation. Rather than
absolutely. So entrepreneurship,
yeah,
the whole journey of entrepreneurship is full of creativity. So it could be one novel idea, it could be a earth-shattering idea, or it could be a boring idea. Even when you are implementing a boring idea in that journey, when you are making product, when you are trying to do few things, when you're trying to reach out to customers, when you're trying to hit the market, right? It is full of creativity. You have to be on your toes to solve people's problems, right?
I think Shivesh again got disconnected, but of course, creativity, I feel, is the essence of entrepreneurship. You have an innovative idea, and that idea is scalable, and it serves a purpose. Then you are going to be a successful entrepreneur in the long run.
See, we have to, Ruby, we have to teach to everyone that more risk, more gain. That's the concept we have to bring to them. You should be ready to take risk. That is the biggest challenge. If I don't pass, I start doing, if I don't get a mathematics, I take arts. No, let's start. Let's keep doing that. I think that's the only way. Don't get perturbed or don't get in tension if you're not able to get something. If you may not get once, you may get in second attempt, third attempt. So that entrepreneurship has to be developed in the whole education system, whole society.
You're right, sir. I think the only profession where I feel failures are the pillars to success is entrepreneurship, because you get your best idea after you had a few ideas which are not that that profitable. So thanks a lot everyone for joining us for this wonderful session. Thanks a lot. We look forward to more such sessions again in the near future.
Yeah, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you. And thanks to audience also.
Participation.
Yeah, thanks to audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.